Thank you for downloading this podcast from the British Theatre Guide. For more information about British Theatre Guide, please visit britishtheatreguide.info.
Hello and welcome to this British Theatre Guide podcast with me, Simon Sladen. I'm here backstage at the Marlowe Theatre, Canterbury, with Ben Roddy, with Phil Gallagher, and of course, Mr. Lloyd Hollett, who are starring together again in Cinderella. Good evening, gentlemen.
Evening.
Hello.
Morning. Evening.
So, many of you might have seen these people before at the Marlowe Theatre. Obviously, Ben, you're normally resident dame here, but this year you're turning ugly, or arguably uglier than usual. Yeah. How has that transformation been? How have you found your villainous feat?
Well, Lloyd and I've done it together, really, I think. It's fair to say, isn't it?
Yeah, very much.
It's not been like, it's a bit of a change, but some of it's very familiar, and some of it's very new, and I suppose it's just like any actor, really. You just have to approach it as you can. It's not been, I don't know, I've really enjoyed it, but mostly because of working with kind of friends, really. You know, as is always the case, and the good feeling in the rehearsal room. But yeah, it's been a change, but I hope you agree when you see the show, it's been a successful one.
Now, Lloyd, you've obviously done villain before here, and you've done comic a number of times, and so has this been a merging of the two, and how have you found doing that cross-dressed role?
Well, initially quite daunting, because doing the rehearsal and just running through the gags and the comedy with Phil and mostly with Ben, just feels like it normally does every year. And it wasn't until we got the costumes quite late when we started, a bit before we did the run the other day, and trying them on for the first time, and then some of them, they're all made, they're all brand new this year, and then I took work on the makeup. Ben's been giving me lessons, so that they were
really is the blind leading the blind, that.
I had to wear a bra for a couple of rehearsals because it helped me get into character, and I was, it was like first time for me being a woman. So
and also he doesn't get to sit down in between scenes now. He's got to get changed in scene changes.
Not at all. I'm quite used to having a cup of tea, but no, not this.
So how many costumes have you both got this year?
Nine
only. Yeah, so actually it's not so bad. I think my personal record's about 15, 16. Mm-hmm. So it's nine.
Nine this year.
Yeah.
And how many does Buttons have, Phil?
Well, I have 4. I can't believe
four.
This. I normally only
That's
have
like
one.
luxury.
Yeah, occasionally, obviously, I do have a change, but I change into the finale. But this year I've got 4. One of them will be a real surprise for the audience. It was a surprise to me, and it's a lot of fun towards the end of the first act. Probably not anything I've ever worn before, I would say, but that's good fun.
That is a tantalising tidbit for us all to be ready for, which is very exciting.
The costumes are absolutely beautiful, and Buttons is something I've dreamed about playing that part for many years. So when I got in that lovely blue outfit for the first time, it was something special.
Iconic blue outfit, isn't
it?
What makes Buttons so special as a comic? Because you've done Muddles, you've done Silly Billy character in Jack and the Beanstalk. I mean, you've done a lot of those titles apart from Peter Pan, Cinderella. So what makes Buttons, though, particularly enjoyable or rewarding?
Well, I think it's the story. The story of Cinderella is so strong. It's such a wonderful story. And Buttons is a big part of that. He's a friend to the audience, obviously, as well. But he actually has his own story, for once, that actually runs through the pantomime, which is really nice. And literally in this production, it runs literally to the very end, and that's been really nice for me to. It's been a very different role, hasn't it? I think for me this year, and getting to do different things, and I think also on a creative side, what Paul and Emily have done in this show, it's really beautiful, and I think those that hopefully the moments of pathos that we'll touch on later this evening, the audience will hopefully enjoy them. They'll laugh and they'll cry, hopefully, and the way that they've been done is hopefully really tender and special and very beautiful.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Cinderella Company,
that is
this is
the
your
half.
half-hour calls.
So
that's 30 minutes.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
We're definitely backstage, and there's half an hour, so thank you, gentlemen, for joining us as this very busy period going on. And it's also press night, so there's extra pressure in, or maybe there's not, but not putting that on you. Now, you've all performed together before in panto a number of times. How many, is this the third?
No, this is the fourth.
This is the fourth.
Yeah, in fact, we have a seat in the auditorium after our 3 years together when we knew Phil wasn't coming back, and we were all a bit upset about it.
Yeah.
So we got a seat that says the Three Amigos.
Yeah.
on the back and our names on it. So it's sort of about 4 throwback on the right side.
Do you know what happened the year after though? Because we were very proud about having that seat, and the year after. A young entertainer, I don't know if you've heard of him, called Stephen Mulhern, was performing in the Marlowe Theatre pantomime. Lovely guy. The three of them.
He'll go far.
Yeah, I think he'll do well.
It's a name to watch.
The three boys. I got a text from, I think it was from Mr. Mulhern, with a picture of them around the seat, and it said the Three Amigos, Lloyd, Hollett, Ben, Roddy, and there a piece of tape. Stuck over my name was Stephen Mulhern, written in crayon.
You've been demoted.
Yeah.
That's friendship for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
Wait for thin.
You obviously enjoy working together, and this is a lovely opportunity to be back together working
the
together.
Three Amigos WhatsApp group has not died. That's been quite a live WhatsApp group over the course of
It's been
the last...
years.
Yeah.
It's been years, and we keep in touch, and obviously this year's been very exciting for us as friends, but for Lloyd's family, a new arrival, and we with Ottilie, Lloyd's daughter, and we get to see not so little Stan now grow up. We've just seen him now. He's it's amazing. So we can share those sorts of family and friend things as well.
It is sort of life, They say, life's made up of summers, don't they? That's a kind of old phrase, you remember, that how many good summers you have. Well, for us, I think it feels a bit like the other end. It's like how many good Christmases, how many good pantos.
And it is absolutely, it's family entertainment, it's the cast as a family, you're here together with each other at that festive period, and everybody sort of takes on those roles of those familiar roles. What's it like being on stage together? Because that must be lovely to be back on stage. And how much this year? I mean, Phil, are they picking on you just as much as Cinderella, or what's it been like?
Ooh, well, in very different ways. I would say it's Cinderella has her fair share. I do as well, but in very funny ways, and I welcome it because it's great to be on the stage with the boys.
It is nice when we suddenly find that there's the three of us on, and there's a little bit of low-level smirking.
You forget sometimes. Yeah. I mean, we've all done ad-libs.
I called you Muddles the other day, didn't I?
You did.
There are moments when it's just like we're just in the dressing room, just chatting. That's the danger, which can happen sometimes. We've had some nice ad-libs that have permanently made the script, which Mr. Andy doesn't know.
Yes. I hope he's not listening to this. And so it's always evolving. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? Because you guys will settle into a rhythm, and rehearsals is only... How many days did you have this year for rehearsals?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Yeah,
2 weeks.
Just pretty much bang on 2 weeks, really.
And your run is very long here. How many performances are you doing?
84, I believe.
Something like that.
84.
That sounds about right,
So it's one of the longest runs.
Yeah.
I mean, what are those tips that you've got for other people about to embark on the season, or that have got short runs, long runs? How do you keep that vibrancy, that energy up, that wonderful performance for the audience who are paying their hard-earned cash every
absolutely,
show?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I suppose it's the good news is that pantos, seems to be going through a pretty purple patch at the moment, and theatres are busy, and it's pretty hard to be complacent when the audiences are so good. Mm-hmm. And you if you're feeling a little bit flat, you pretty soon snap out of it when you walk out there and see 1,200 people with massive grins on their faces.
It melts your heart. It's just magical. And you're on a 3-show day. In the mornings we get the typical families with the younger kids, and when that safety curtain goes out, we hear that big woof and cheer. We hear that.
Ladies and gentlemen of Cinderella Company, the house is
the
now
matinee
open. Please do across the stage.
evening,
The house
more
is
of an
now
adult
open.
audience,
Thank you.
and plus they all sell out, which it gives us that,
But it
excitement
is a marathon, not a sprint, so you have got to be a little bit careful.
Yeah, so
You
part
wanna
of it's
give them
drawing that
everything.
audience energy, but what
Yeah.
else do you do to keep that?
Well, I think we support each other with runs to any sort of large supermarket that you could think of. Not any particular one, but we do go to different ones. There are lots available for those that are listening. But we support each other with
fizzy sweet drinks.
I tell you what, actually, this might be a first for a podcast anywhere in the world. It's not just our friendship group here that supports us. Gemma Hunt.
If only we had a camera.
Gemma Hunt.
Oh, wow.
Gemma's fudge.
Has sent us some fudge.
Look at that.
You can try it here and
This
now.
is the first time on a podcast.
This is
If you don't-
turning
if this
into
flavour,
the
don't
Great
do
British
dime, I
Be
Bake Off
Be
style.
careful with your teeth though, because it is dime bar.
And it's been in the fridge, so it's
to dime for.
extra
Yeah, and it's
to dime for.
Very good, Lloyd.
Put it in.
I'm going to have one, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yes,
Well, it's delicious.
for Gemma.
Yeah.
It does mean that they're not going to be able to hear us properly.
That's
if we're
right.
feeling like this, but it's absolutely fine.
Right,
But this is that basically is to show we support each other, and it's lovely. It does feel like a family. We're all local boys, obviously. Now we all live in Kent. And It's just lovely to be here.
On a 3-show day, we all meet up and have a big fry up, as a company, to set us off for the day. So
Basically food, isn't it? That's what we're
Yeah.
saying.
there's a theme emerging here.
We're free
Basically-
sugar.
Fuel and passion will get you through the season.
That's it.
So, gentlemen, you've all got to get dressed and get made up and all that. But before we go, what's your top tip for anybody going into the industry? What do they need to remember, or what do they need to do?
If you're a member of the sound department, please go to the juvenile dressing room. That's a member of the sound department to the juvenile dressing room.
So always project. I'll get a microphone.
right.
That's always very good.
Make friends with the sound department. They're very, they're very important.
That's a very good tip.
You get plenty of fallback on stage. I'll go first, if that's all right, boys. For me, it sounds a bit of a cliche, but never give up on your dream. In 1995, I think it was, is the music, I was at university.
During the war.
I was at university in Canterbury, and I interviewed the star of the Marlowe pantomime, a guy called Paul Hendy. You might have heard of him. And I
He's
told
not
him,
listening
I
after
told
all
him I
said
wanted to be in panto one day. So that's why I feel so lucky. Never give up on your dreams, and just keep trying as hard as you can. Work as hard as you can, and if you do get in a show, enjoy it as much as you can.
Yeah.
Seize those opportunities and seek them as well.
Yeah, I think it's about. I'd certainly echo what Phil says. That's absolutely right. You need to work hard. I always say that miles on the clock is important. Stage time's important. Just do it. There's no substitute for just doing it. For just getting miles on the clock. Do it
And
wrong.
there's no way
Do it
you can learn panto. You can't go to university and do a panto degree. You can't do that. You've got to live through it, learn what works, what doesn't. And like with you, you've learned a lot from other performers.
Damien, massive influence on me. We spent 7 years together in a tiny little theatre in Grays where I had some of the best years of my life, really.
Yeah.
Brilliant. But just miles on the clock, that's what I say. You can't go wrong. I mean, I don't want to sound like three old duffers here, but between us, we've probably got about 60 years, haven't we?
Yep.
In
Yeah.
panto, and it's, and that's...
And you only do it one time a year,
Yeah.
Christmas. It's not like other theatrical forms where you can practice and do that. You get that opportunity, and linked with that is seeing loads and learning from those other people.
Absolutely.
And again, the same thing. Follow your dream. Canterbury was a dream for me because my auntie would bring me here with my uncle every year on Boxing Day since I was 5. Right, proper tradition. And my auntie would say when I was 5 and the lights went down, we saw Peter Pan and Robert Powell in the old Marlowe. I just grabbed her hand and was so excited. And then for all these years I came. And then 2006 I wrote to Paul Hendy. I said, I'm a big fan of your work. I'd love to work for you. And he emailed me back. I want to come and see you. I said I want to do Canterbury, and he came to see me work in Folkestone, and that night he booked me for Stevenage.
There started the journey.
It started the journey, and I was in Canterbury the year after. So follow the dream, keep hold of that dream.
And that magic and the transformation sequences will happen. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Cinderella is on here at the Marlowe Theatre, Canterbury, until Sunday the 6th of January. Although, if you haven't got a ticket already...
Be quick.
You better get there quickly because
Yeah.
famously, I think it was 98% or something sold out last year.
And this is a week shorter this year.
Over
Week
100,000
shorter.
people.
So if you can't get a ticket for this year, we are booking for next year's Mother Goose as well, starring
10 years, Mr. Roddy.
10 years,
Ben Roddy.
Mr. Roddy.
10 years.
I haven't made it there yet. Don't
Don't. That would be terrible. Don't curse
I'm not
it.
feeling well.
Dreams can come true. Yeah. So if you can't, make sure you see him this year, just in case.
Building his bench as we speak.
Thank you very much to all. Very Merry Christmas to you and your cast here at the Marlowe Theatre, Canterbury. And I'll see you on stage.
See you there.
Simon.
Thank
Thank you very much.
Lots of love.
You've been listening to a podcast from British Theatre Guide. For more information, please visit britishtheatreguide.info.